joined now by Dr. Scott French. He's a board-certified emergency physician and a member of the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs. Dr. French joins us from Priest Lake, Idaho. Dr. French, welcome to the show. I want to start by getting your initial reaction to this story. Bonner General Hospital can't deliver babies anymore due to pro-life laws. Can you make any sense of this?
Yes, Prudence, thanks for having me on. It is very perplexing because in their statement, they said highly respected talent physicians are leaving and recruiting replacements will be extraordinarily difficult due to laws that criminalize physicians for medical care nationally recognized as standard of care. So as a physician, this is very perplexing because there's no laws in Idaho that prohibit physicians from doing what's necessary to save a woman's life. It just doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
And so this whole idea that abortion is healthcare, when in fact, abortion kills one of the patients, right? It kills the baby. And then actually it harms the mother. So the mother who has an abortion has a 200 to 400% increase in suicides, increased rate of infertility, and also depression and other illnesses, and also looks like an increased risk of breast cancer. So I don't see how we can call things that harm women healthcare. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it doesn't make any sense that they're blaming Idaho laws that protect women and promote life as a problem. I think what's really underlying this is, it's a small city, only at 9,000. It's a small rural hospitals, and like everywhere else, struggling to recruit physicians. But to blame that on pro-life, life-affirming care, it just doesn't make any sense. And in fact, most physicians want that.
Yes.
Yes, there are some that are, abortion at all costs, but those aren't what I would call real physicians that believe in the Hippocratic Oath of do no harm.
Right, right. And Dr. French, I understand Sandpoint is in northern Idaho, and you're also located in northern Idaho. Are you aware of anywhere else in that area besides hospitals where moms will be able to go to give birth? How far are they going to have to travel?
So North Idaho is very narrow, and so there's Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which people probably familiar with, is about a 30 to 45-minute drive from Sandpoint. And again, rural hospitals all over face this, and then there's also Spokane, which also has tertiary care capabilities. So it's a struggle for all these small towns that have hospitals, and it's difficult to recruit physicians. I understand that, but to blame it on providing expert care, and again, they have to transfer things all the time that they don't have the standard of care to do, right?
Sure.
They can't do cardiac casts. So all there's sorts of things that they have to transfer out. So it's really a spurious argument and very disheartening to hear that we're lying. I mean, we're in this crisis of truth in medicine.
Yeah.
And we need to start telling the truth, that we need to support women and help them. It just doesn't make any sense.
Right. And Dr. French, it's clear that these doctors who will only deliver babies if they can also do abortions, they don't have the same understanding of life as you and I do. Can you speak to how devastating that is? That for some of these so-called doctors, babies are just disposable. How can that be so?
Well, again, I'm not so sure that that's the vast majority of OBGYNs, that they won't take care of women unless they can kill their babies. That just, again, unless they're not taking the Hippocratic Oath anymore, I just don't understand that. And so again, we have to fight this narrative of it's healthcare. It's not healthcare to kill a baby and increase the chances of the mother committing suicide and all these other complications that can have. So it's really about this crisis of truth. And so the AAPLOG obviously has OBGYNs that are, will not perform abortions because, again, they know it works against the health of the mother and, of course, obviously the health of the baby. So it just makes no sense. And those of us are scratching our heads. And again, most physicians are in agreement with that. They can't speak out because the culture now is so pro killing innocent babies that they can lose their jobs. And so They think that's what's a lot going on. So I think it's a very small minority that are really abortion determined,
Sure.
that's really all that they care about is aborting babies.
Well, thanks for explaining that. And Dr. French, we have about 30 seconds left. We've talked on the show before about what you're speaking about right now. There's constant attacks against pro-life doctors who want to speak the truth. Talk to me about how you're weathering these storms and what motivates you to continue to speak the truth about situations like this.
Well, just like in general, doctors are part of the are part of the general culture, right? Is there's just an attack on truth right now, and so we just have to stick to the truth. We have a Hippocratic oath that we have to follow, and that is do no harm. And so, you know, doing abortions harms two patients, and so I think most physicians follow that, and we have to pray that our culture finally comes to the truth. At some point, people are going to look back and say, what were these people thinking? I mean, it's just, it's just incredible what's going on, how we've lost truth in medicine in a lot of ways. And the doctors can't speak out because they'll get fired. This has just become, medicine has become politicized. I just never thought I'd see that in my career. I used to be full-time faculty at Stanford, taught medical students. It's appalling that medicine has devolved into a lack of truth. We used to debate what's the best treatment and what's the best way to go about it. So let's have a debate. Let's look at whether abortion helps health. It doesn't. I mean, there's plenty of studies to prove that. Well, then why do we keep doing that? Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, that's what we're doing with abortion. It harms women, harms their baby, and yet we still think it's healthcare. It just boggles the mind.
Yeah. Well, I so appreciate your insight and your expertise on this. Dr. Scott French, thank you for speaking the truth.
Thank you.